Um, this video is going to be is connected to the extended version, if I'm not mistaken, of um, okay, the exact file number. It's the movie Denzel Washington in Flight. And as far as copyright, this is under fair use, and you can research my credentials and/or contact me and so on and so forth. Excuse all the Okay, I thought it was the extended version. Maybe it's the regular director's version at 420. The version that I have at 420, I just posted something on Tyra Banks' official YouTube channel. And about Denzel and if you pause the movie at 420, then Denzel Washington, he was walking left, having bowed his head a little bit under the label, if you will, the logo of the airline on the airplane. Then it's timed so that at 420 he makes a 90-degree turn and he stops and possibly he smokes something. And I made a comment on Tyra's YouTube channel about, is he endorsing weed? You'll notice through the video, by the way, I recommend you watch this in the dark. I personally recommend that you void where prohibited, but if it's not prohibited, then it's not void as far as the law is concerned. But wherever you're comfortable doing that, I recommend you watch it in the dark and you smoke a little weed or something, have all your comforts, and there's a lot of interesting numerology, etc., etc. But I wanted to focus, because I'm doing so much with advertising. I wanted to focus on the labels right now, because I mean, you could analyze every frame of this, but you'll notice that there's places where you do not see the labels on, like the beer that he's holding, and there's places where, like, he's right now. I paused the movie at 1 hour 48 minutes and 20 seconds. A few seconds before this, there was a very clear, in addition to the details, spoiler warning. In addition to the details, actually no, a spoiler warning is over. It's okay. All right. I would notice, in terms of the plot, some of the things that happen before we see the specific label that he selects, and to some extent, yeah, I guess I'm trying to keep it as an analysis. If you don't need to smoke weed, I personally recommend it, but when you're talking about advertising and semiotics, it's called semiotics, semiotics. I was a top professor in that field, but it's advertising, of course, is at the top of semiotics in some way, or near the top of semiotics. And so this movie's the shit. It merits a lot of analysis. I suspect that it probably has gotten, but not enough to make a buzz about it. So I am, if you people decide that I'm launching the next gen crowdfunding parties with the tips and so on and so forth and the perks. You can look that up at my Indiegogo campaign. If you go right now, if you go to the topchoicesystem.com, you can click on the link for the for the crowdfunding campaign, and Tyra Banks, and so on and so forth, and Amore, some of us, well, anyway, but and Massimo, and so on and so forth. But I decided, I mean, I was thinking as I was watching this, and I've been watching it in segments. I started last night, then I'm picking it up again. It's priceless. But by the way, the 17, when they mentioned 17 with the next gen tarot, my next gen tarot, it's, if you can read me, you can be with me. So I may or may not add more literary analysis, but I might just be fine with this if I don't add more literary analysis, and you're the kind of audience that likes that kind of thing. I used to have a lecture on YouTube that very few people watched, for the celebration of Amica's, which is a very well-known magazine in Italy, their 50th anniversary issue, and Yeah, it was October 2012. I've got several copies. One of them I'm looking at right now. And so I was doing something that has to do with Tyra Banks in there, and but uh, more recently, I think that might have been called. It might be a private video right now, but it might have been called. If you Google, probably there was something. I was doing my lecture in pantyhose, although you could not see them except for one point when I got my knee up to say, yeah, I'm in pantyhose or whatever. But it's about talking about Tyra Banks semiotics advertising. But the title of the movie of the video, old YouTube video, was probably under the Kinky Guy channel, uh, and I can't remember right now. But more recently, I did something when I watched the full season of Mad Men, binge watched Mad Men. I did a more conventional lecture, if you will. It's still very informal, and that's in my recent videos on the Zoxor.com, all one word, uh, on the Zoxor, the main Zoxor YouTube channel. And that's Mad Men and advertising, so that'd be easy to Google or YouTube. And if you're into that kind of longer analysis, in case I don't analyze more of Denzel. Actually, I'm very interested about everybody that participated in this movie, but I think of it as Denzel Washington and Flight. You can always, if you're into analysis, I recommend you do it on your own, like I said. But and if you're curious about definitions of God and things like that, you can also go to modellandcards.com with two L's and look for the shaman work. Model Land Cards with two L's, or just add.com or Google them and go to the shaman link, and then we get into God and mysticism and logic and so on and so forth. But I'm gonna go back to watching the movie, and I'm probably gonna upload it to where it can go with this, although I need to be careful because I don't, even though I know that it's fair use, I want to make sure that it's smooth enough with YouTube that I can do that